Imagine this. You wake up one morning and decide you're done. Done with the traffic, done with the noise, done with the bills, the deadlines, the strangers, the chaos of modern life. So you do what most people only dream about. You sell everything. Your house, your car, everything you own. You take every single dollar you have and you try to disappear. But here's where it gets interesting. There is a place on this earth so remote, so completely cut off from the rest of the world that it makes the middle of nowhere look crowded. It sits alone in the South Atlantic Ocean. No continent nearby, no major shipping route, no airport, no emergency flights. Just a tiny volcanic island surrounded by thousands of miles of open ocean in every direction. 250 people call it home. And here's the part that will genuinely mess with your head. You cannot move there, no matter who you are, no matter how much money you have. A billionaire with every resource on earth cannot buy their way onto this island. The island doesn't want you, but the people who already lived there, they had a chance to leave permanently. They were offered a modern life, comfort, safety, television, hospitals, supermarkets, schools. They looked at everything our world had to offer, and they said no. So, welcome to Kenful TV, the island. The place is called Tristan da Cunha, and if you find it on a map, your first reaction will probably be, that can't be right. It sits in the absolute middle of the South Atlantic Ocean, with nothing around it for thousands of miles. The nearest other settlement is St. Helena Island, about 2,400 kilometers to the north. The nearest actual city is Cape Town, South Africa, roughly 3,000 kilometers away. To put that in perspective, that's farther than flying from New York to Los Angeles, and then halfway back again. There is no airport, no landing strip, no harbor large enough for big ships, and no emergency flights, ever. There is exactly one way to reach Tristan da Cunha. A small fishing boat departs from Cape Town 8 or 9 times a year. The journey takes about a week, and that's only when the weather cooperates. If the weather doesn't cooperate, you wait. That's it. That's your only option. This is officially the most remote inhabited settlement on the planet. You can't move here, no matter what. Now here's the part people can't wrap their heads around. You cannot move to Tristan da Cunha, full stop. It doesn't matter if you're a millionaire, a billionaire, or the most powerful person in the world. The island does not accept new residents from outside. There is no application process, no amount of money that changes this, no loophole. The island's council controls who lives there, and they have deliberately kept it that way for a very specific reason. They've seen what happens when wealthy outsiders arrive with big expectations and even bigger lifestyles. It doesn't just change the community, it destroys it. So the council protects the island like a treasure, because to them, it is one. How it all started. Napoleon changed everything. So how did 250 people end up living in the most isolated spot on Earth in the first place? The answer starts with one of history's most famous names, Napoleon Bonaparte. In 1816, after Napoleon's defeat, the British imprisoned him on St. Helena Island in the Atlantic. But the British were nervous. Sitting nearby was another uninhabited island, Tristan da Cunha, and they were terrified the French might use it as a secret base to stage a rescue. So Britain claimed Tristan da Cunha and set up a small military garrison there, just in case. But Napoleon was never rescued, and once it became clear no rescue was coming, the British government decided the island was no longer useful. Soldiers were ordered to leave, and here is where history takes a genuinely strange turn. A Scottish soldier named William Glass refused to go. He stayed behind with his wife and 2 children. A couple more soldiers joined him, and just like that, in one of the most remote corners of the planet, a community was born. The volcano that changed everything for the next century and a half. Life on Tristan da Cunha was hard, but it was theirs. The islanders shared tools. They looked after each other's children. Nobody locked their doors. Keys stayed in cars. There was no crime because there was no reason for it. Everyone was a neighbor, a cousin, a friend. Then, in 1961, the island shook. A massive earthquake struck, and the volcano the island was built on woke up. Lava began creeping toward the village. Within hours, smoke was everywhere. The ground was splitting, and the homes people had lived in for generations were directly in the path of destruction. All 264 residents were evacuated immediately, first to a nearby island, then all the way to England. And now, for the first time in their lives, the people of Tristan da Cunha were standing in the modern world. The choice. And what a world it was. Television, supermarkets, hospitals, schools, central heating, cars, salaries, every comfort and convenience modern life had to offer. All of it suddenly available. Every expert, every sociologist, every analyst who looked at this situation came to the same conclusion. These people are never going back. Why would they? They had spent their entire lives cut off from everything, and now, for the first time, they had everything. But when the volcano finally calmed down and the island was declared safe again, the community was given a choice: stay in England or go home. They voted, and the results were almost unanimous. Nearly every single person chose to go back to the island with no airport, no hospital, no luxury of any kind, back to a place with an active volcano sitting underneath it. They had seen our world, really seen it. The traffic, the noise, the locked doors, the strangers passing each other on streets without making eye contact, the loneliness that somehow exists in a city of millions, and they chose an island of 250 people instead. Why they went back? Because on Tristan da Cunha, nobody is rich. But nobody is alone either. There is no crime, no homelessness, no one falls through the cracks because there are no cracks. If something goes wrong in your life, your entire community shows up. Children roam freely because every adult on the island is looking out for them. Nobody locks their house. Keys stay in cars not because people are careless, but because there's simply no need. The islanders didn't go back for the land. They went back for the life. A life where people still genuinely belong to each other. The sad twist. But this story doesn't end perfectly. The population of Tristan da Cunha is slowly shrinking. Young people are leaving more than they used to. Year by year, the world's most isolated community is getting a little bit smaller. The place that rejected our modern world may not be able to survive without it forever. And maybe that's the most haunting part of this entire story. These people looked at everything we call progress, the comfort, the money, the options, the convenience, and they walked away from all of it. Which makes you wonder, what does that say about the life we're all chasing? What does it say about a world where we have everything and still so many of us feel completely empty? And that leaves us with one final question worth sitting with. We live in a world with more comfort, more convenience, and more connection than any generation before us. We have everything at our fingertips. And yet, loneliness is at an all-time high. Anxiety is at an all-time high. People feel more lost than ever. Maybe Tristan da Cunha isn't just a story about an island. Maybe it's a mirror, showing us exactly what we've lost while chasing everything we thought we wanted. I hope you'll like and share Kenful TV's videos. Your love and kind comments mean the world to us. Don't forget to subscribe and see you in another amazing video soon. Until then, bye bye and love you all.